Style over substance. Attitude is everything. Live on the edge. These are the only 3 rules that guide our future. A future inspired by the work of Hosan Gonzalez, bound by Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk law. A dark future, cast in a neon glow where corporations through nuclear fire have destroyed the known world, save for a few mega-metropolises. The tales you're about to witness are built around the heart of one such city. Robo City 16, where the machine rules through a mechanized iron fist. The promise of prosperity through logic and sedation has stagnated the progress of the people. However, what the logic of the machine will never conclude, but the will of a few may, is it's time for change. It's time to rage. For good or ill, the chosen few are those you witness before me. Let's meet the up-and-coming, / actually now notorious, Mortal Code.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rami, the Ever Living. I play Astrea Magnetar, Nomad Extraordinaire. I can drive anything. My clothes are probably a little disheveled right now, covered in blood. We're in the car, I guess, and driving around. So we're feeling a little better, but still in dire straits. Hondo, you.
I'm Luna, and I play Netra, who is a netrunner / streamer who is also a member of the Mortal Code. And I wear a headset outfitted with cameras that allows me to hack into tech as well as stream an encrypted POV video to the deep stream, which in reality is the stream that you are watching. And you can interact with our game by typing your ideas in the chat. So for example, if we come to a forked hallway and you think we should go left, or maybe we should just murder an NPC, you can put it in the chat. And I'll either roleplay it or relay it to the group.
I'm dying.
Her character's mostly dead.
A terrible headache. It's all good. There you go.
My name is Enzer, and I play Tank, formerly known as Tink, a crazy old guy who happens to be a techie. Basically means that I fix up meat or metal. Yeah, I'm not looking too good like the rest of our party right now. But that's okay, because we're living on the edge.
Yes. Now, before we get into it, there are a few announcements. First and foremost, the reason why we're a few minutes late is we are having some network issues. Like, odd issues. So if the stream goes down randomly, you know why. We're taking a chance here tonight. And that's what it's all about. Living on the edge.
Give us some mulligan.
I am DMing with this headset on, not only one to help immerse you in Hosan Gonzalez's depiction of his universe, where everybody in some form or fashion is wearing a VR headset or taking some kind of drug to distract themselves from the miserable reality that the robos submit them to, and to help accentuate my own DMing tools and abilities. I have many different screens and functions floating all around me in the ether space. The space that you cannot see, but is only known to I. And main notes over here, dice rolling over here, because of network issues, black screen over there. And I can also see the players, and this is all being done on an Oculus Quest 2. So, without further ado, let's get into tonight's episode of Sasapunk. When last we left the punks of the Mortal Code, they finally faced Robo City 16's Robo President, Kennedy the Fourth, at the mobile city of New Samarkand's Capitol building, where all of New Samarkand's leaders were being transitioned from their original bodies to new metal robo forms, complements of the Robo President. This was to be the showdown of the Mortal Code's life, fighting to free New Samarkand, kill an evil robo dictator, and finally rid Edena of her pursuers and ambitious executors. We pick up now, right after Netra corrected Kennedy's corrupted code, and Edena was grabbed by the giant robo hands of the Wings of Liberty. Is Kennedy down for good? What pulls the strings of the wings? Is it friend or foe? Will the players free the shepherd, thus turning New Samarkand's defenses back online? Find out this time on Sasapunk.
Nailed it.
Yes. Can we go to the map cam? As we left off at the top of the round last time. Ooh, such lighting now. Just a quick review, really quickie, sticky. This is Bastion, the Mortal Code's ever-faithful vehicle that Estrella pilots. All of the Mortal Code currently exists inside of this vehicle. Estrella is driving, and Adelon, their newfound friend from New Samarkand, is in there as well. Edena hopped out. This is Kennedy right here. Edena hopped out. As everybody cheered her on, she was able to lower Kennedy's defenses for Netra, to take the opportunity to hack inside of his mind, finding a corrupted portion of his code, thus, which really caused all of his animosity and hatred towards humans, at least on the face of things. She removed the aberration in the form of a bullet that was shot at Kennedy from his own people. And he now rests on his knees, looking absent-mindedly down at the ground. Edena, with the giant statue robo form of the Wings of Liberty, was taken by her hand and hoisted into the air. Both of the Wings of Liberty's hands are off of the map, contrary to the drawing over here. It's not so easy to move drawings, although I definitely could have done that in between last episode and this one, but hey, whatever. And you are not out of the fire yet, as there are still 2 quadruped tanks and a captain. The captain is currently checking on Kennedy's status. And at the top of the round, are there any questions to help set the scene before we dive into it?
How far along are the Vision and the Will into their cybernetica transformation?
At least 75%.
Oh, wow, so they're about to be full robots.
Yeah, pretty much most of their lower body has been replaced. It's pretty much like picture Darth Vader, where it's like very horrible skin,
Right.
lots of blood loss, wires connecting into their temples, and the servitors are still just sort of slowly snipping away at their skin, pulling it out, and very, not delicately, just slamming Robotech inside of them.
No painkillers? Oh my god.
Yeah, you can also see this it's not a dead look in their face, but almost like this. They've encountered so much pain that their eyes are sort of glazed over, and they are no longer present.
Let's see. That's not.
Where on the map is Edena?
Edena is, you can consider her raised. This is sort of inaccurate. Can people see that?
No.
This is Edena right here. She's pulled. This is the barrier of the Capitol building. The Capitol building's main walls, and this is the main doorway that the Wings of Liberty was hovering over, but now the Wings of Liberty is standing up straight. Edena sort of curled in one hand and brought close to the Wings of Liberty's chest. The other hand still being held up, just because it hasn't been their turn to act after the last time, after Edena played Simon Says with everybody around. Or with Kennedy mainly. So Tink, or unless there are any other questions, you are at the top of the round.
Yes. So the where the hand is on the map, where it's not actually in this reality, the machine that basically is the remnants of the shepherd is not. It's free right now, right? Like it doesn't have that giant hand
yes,
over
it does not have a giant hand caressing it currently. Fondiling it.
Okay. Then I would like to yell to Estrella.
You're right behind me.
Yeah, I'm basically gonna hold my turn I'd like to yell to Estrella to, like, Estrella, get us near the shepherd. I'll get out. I gotta work on the machine. And, yeah, I gotta fix it.
Yeah, I would say that you certainly know that it's powered down right now. It's disconnected from its power source, so at the very least, it needs a power source to even be able to hack into or turn on or anything like that.
Okay, then I'm already in the back seat. I'm gonna.
And remember, you can every player just to provide you possibilities for navigation. Every player has 5 squares that they can move with Bastion.
You can move.
Okay, so it should be within space or within the movement. I'd like to essentially just grab the power cell, the unicorn power cell, from very earlier on in our adventure, and ready. Basically, I want to wait until I have some cover fire to get out with the power cell by the machine that the shepherd is located within.
Isn't that power in the car?
No, it's in the back trunk.
I think you had 1 left, and you also see the the exoskeleton is just neatly compacted into a large suitcase in the rear as well. Okay, so if you want to move 5 feet, and you said you're holding your action for anybody to do anything to you, or
No, basically I don't want to just jump out. I'd like, because right now the teddy bear is manning the gun. I'd like there to be some kind of, like suppressive fire to guard me while I'm getting out and trying to work on the shepherd.
Okay, so yeah, that'll sort of be passive. The teddy bear is on the gun, and they sort of like let go with one hand, drop on one arm, and turn towards you and give you like a salute, and then pull themselves back up and arm the gun. And you're going forward 5 feet,
Yes.
probably to right here, or
I mean,
not 5 feet,
wherever
5
the main
squares.
control paneling is.
This little main control paneling unit
yes,
that's very
that's-
clearly depicted with the
boom.
rectangle of dots.
Right there.
Okay.
And then, but I'd like to get out on the like with the car in front of me.
So the car is acting as like a barrier for you.
Yeah, it's cover.
So you are currently being attacked on 2 sides. So when you get cover from one
the
thing,
freaking.
you probably want maybe like this to get cover from the captain, but you are in sight of the railgun quadruped hanging on the building.
Okay.
Clutched.
Is that my movement action and bonus action?
I'm sorry. Where did you use your bonus action?
Well, to grab the power cell and get out.
Oh,
I
I'll say
figured-
grabbing the power cell is bonus action.
Okay. And then my action, I would like to use to essentially try and hook up the power cell to this piece of machinery that is the shepherd.
Okay, give me a what is the check that you make? Tinkering, hack, a.
It's either cyber tech or basic tech.
Well,
You're
what's
talking
it
about to
called?
jury rig?
Jury rig, yeah.
Yeah.
Tech plus basic tech.
20.
Naturally. 20. As you sort of like drag the power cell off of the seat, it lands on the ground. You sort of identify the cables in front of you that seem to have been drastically just ripped from where they were seated before, providing it power. You assess which cables are the power cables. You look at the output of the unicorn power cell, and you quickly just start going to work, stripping off entire tubes, like separating the wires, doing the same thing with the other tube, and finding out which connection points there are as you're just like sort of holding different tools in your mouth, clipping it, soldering it, putting it back. It's like fast arms at work here, especially with your exoskeleton that you're using. You manage to, as you set it down, make all the connections. the lights start sort of flaring and circulating around the Shepherd's AI core until they stay lit and vibrant. They have power, but you don't know if the Shepherd is awake or not.
Okay. I think that's all I can do.
Okay, Kennedy is up next. That's just his turn, and his face is unreactive, but you hear this like you start to see his chest vibrate and get pushed out as panels start to get dented from the inside out. And his chest cavity becomes wide open as you see this miniature version of Kennedy in the same format that, Tank, you would not be used to, but anybody else from the Mortal Code would recognize them as the little stabby bastards that hopped out of the chests of the slave units that you had found in Baron Ironface's private villa. And he goes,
Say it isn't true, Robo President! Wake up! You never told me to murder any humans! Please just tell me to murder some humans. Any humans will do. Oh, why, yes, Mini Kennedy, I'd like you to murder those pesky humans of the Mortal Code right there. Oh boy, I thought you'd never ask, you dog.
And this tiny little version of Kennedy crawls out of the chest cavity and stabs a knife into Kennedy's head, hangs on the back, and you see Kennedy rise as he goes,
Yeah, now we're talking. You were useless anyway. You gave up on the mission.
and he goes, now what are our options? And he's twisting the knife in Kennedy's head, and Kennedy is almost like a marionette, just sort of lull shifting back and forth until Kennedy turns around and Mini Kennedy pulls the knife back, sort of tilting Prime Kennedy's head up, and Mini Kennedy points a hand at the Wings of Liberty, and you just see both of their forms collapse onto the ground.
The Wings of Liberty and Kennedy?
No, just Kennedy and the little Robo. And you see the Wings of Liberty's eyes go from this dull green to the reflection of Kennedy's red eyes. The movements start to change. The nuances in their body language starts to change as well. And you see a smile creep across the robotic feminine face, this twisted smile. And that is Kennedy's, quote-unquote, Kennedy's move. Followed by the captain is going to look confused at his downed Robo President.
He's dead.
And he says, we've got to get your body back to Robo City 16. It's the only way we can bring you back. And he starts to heft Kennedy up, and he whistles this loud, almost siren whistle that echoes throughout your immediate vicinity, and you can tell that it echoes down the streets of New Samarkand. And you start to hear the shifting of machinery, the stomping of boots echo far off in the distance from the city, as you can tell that forces are converging on your location. So, next up is the quadruped, and they are going to fire at you, of course, Tink. From this range, it's impossible for them to miss with all of their bonuses, so I'm just going to roll damage. That's kind of the not climactic... Oh, no. Okay, looks like I have to roll. So rolling also doesn't work when your internet is effy. 4, 8, 12, 15, 16, 17, 21, and 25 points total. What's your armor?
5. No, 8.
Your armor is 8?
Does he still get the? No, I guess that would only be 5 if he was still in the barrier that the car has. But it's
Oh, no. Yes, thank you. So
the car only has 5 plus
17
5
plus
Does the car
21
provide
and then
any
25.
cover?
So it's 15. Yeah, because the barrier's still up.
What is 15?
15 points of damage total after it bypasses the barrier. And you can see the missing chunks of pentagonal geometric shapes from the barrier is just clear and open.
That's you only get 1. That's all the car has. Get back in.
Get my back! Get my back!
Adelon says, I feel kind of useless in the seat back here. And like a sitting duck. We're all in here together. What if they have any explosives?
They probably would have used them by now. But I don't know. Maybe, well, they do have rail guns and machine guns.
He looks behind his shoulder towards the captain and he goes, I'm going to stop that signal. And he pops out of the car. May I see which one was Adelon?
This guy?
Yeah, I think that was Adelon. He pops out of the car and he is just going to run forward and he says, get the shepherd back online! And he's going to make an opposing
I'm trying.
check.
Cover his mouth. No more whistling.
This is... Actually, where's Blue? Adelon. All right, this is Adelon. This is the Robo. They're the same. Why did I do that? What the fuck did I do? I'm taking that. Sorry, I'm re-rolling that. Okay, sorry. Fine. Red is Adelon. Black is Kennedy. Not Kennedy. The cap. Ooh. Adelon sort of jumps and tackles, wraps both of his arms around, and starts... You see his feet pressing into the broken stone and water of the fountain that the captain is currently on, and he's just... And he just reaches into a compartment, works his fingers around, and you see some sparking happen, and this micro... Wow. 3 points of damage to the captain.
Just
Wow.
like, okay. Spark.
As
Gotcha.
the captain's hip fails, rotates to the side, corrects itself, and they are looking good as new, as Adelon is still sort of pressed it, trying to push him and distract him from his signal. Next up is Netra.
I'm gonna get out of the car and get the exosuit out of the back of the trunk and put it on.
Okay. That'll be a full action to put an exoskeleton suit on.
Yeah, that's fine. I need it.
Okay. You also know that it could only need you or somebody else with some technical or hacking prowess to pretty much turn on the shepherd. Like, if you don't do it this round, then you have an entire round of potential. I'm just letting you know that that's the case. So it's
Can
like,
I hack it from inside the car?
yeah, you're within 6 feet
Oh,
for sure.
Cool. I thought I had to get out and like run over
Or
there.
not 6 feet, 6 meters, and you are absolutely within six meters.
Yeah, then I'll try and do that to the shepherd.
Okay, go ahead and make a tech plus basic tech. Oh, sorry. Tech plus basic tech or tech plus interface.
You still have your ghost?
I think it died.
Yeah.
24.
Okay, you do see that some digital vices have been set in place as security mechanisms to act as micro explosions to liquefy the shepherd if tampered with in any specific way. You manage to highlight the weak points in the digital defenses, break each weak point, and eliminate that option for the shepherd, and you manage to find him almost in this fetal position in the middle of a black ocean. He's represented as the avatar form that you had seen before: dark skin, bald head, vibrant eyes. He's just sort of curled up there.
As a bonus action, can I try and wake him?
This is your. Remember, you have net actions.
Oh,
You are
okay.
in the net now.
Cool. I'm gonna go over to him and be like, Shepard, you have to come back online. We're getting our asses kicked out
Familiar.
there. I'm probably about to die.
Voice. Dire.
We need you!
Tone.
They have Edena!
Netra. Edena. Adelon. New Samarkand. And you are thrust. He turns around, looks at you. Thank you. As you are pushed from his realm. And you are back in the seat of Bastion. And you see the lights around the core of the shepherd start to sort of I'm back now for everything else. Green, green, green. Time to rid ourselves of these filthy fleas. And you start to see you hear him say lights on, atmosphere on, and lights you hear all of the city's lights come back on, illuminating the entirety of the city in this dark red hazy glow. Atmosphere on, and you hear this from the entire perimeter around the inside, the top of New Samarkand, from the barriered wall, the Night's Walk on the outside, you see spilling this white atmospheric air, this if you've ever seen Cowboy Bebop, really just using how they handle terraforming in their cities, as it starts to, the sort of aerial threads, the atmospheric threads begin to connect, and you start to see vents open up down the side of New Samarkand and suck out all of the poisonous atmosphere that made its way inside when it was bereft of its defenses. Turrets on, and you see turrets spawn 3, 4, 5, 6 on the leopard's cradle's tops, their roofs. You see them train immediately. 4 of them, 2 on each side, train on the quadrupeds. 2 look out in the distance towards what you hear is the stomping of advanced units, massive quadrupeds, robo units of all different shapes and sizes. You hear, Dain, power, back on. And you immediately see the knight, their head looks up. You start to see their gaping wound, a highlight of light, almost as though the armor itself is stitching it up with some scientific means you are not even aware of, as the Dain's cape highlights in a vivid turquoise color. You see solar wings back on. After solar wings back on, then the cape illuminates itself. Adelon's own solar robes highlight. You see power come back to him, and you see, even throughout the city, just small lights start to spawn from the activation of the solar wings. And it says, you have 2,356 unread messages. All right, I'm back, baby. And at this, you just see the turrets ruin, New Samarkand's turrets ruin the two quadrupeds. As Adelon is wrapped around the captain, so you see the turrets train on Adelon, start to circulate in small nuanced turns, and then 2 of them stay on, the other 2 shift to the oncoming forces that are about a turn away from the steps. So, and you start to see the 2 turrets on the closest to the steps just lighting up the line as you see barriers spawn from drones who are protecting the lines as they're slowly approaching the stairs or the steps. Okay. Quad R, you're dead. Quad L, you're dead. Estrella, you are up.
We still see Edena?
No, Edena. Well, you did know that Edena went into the hand of the Wings of Liberty.
Wings of Liberty is like outside the city now, or like...
The Wings of Liberty is standing up outside of the atmospheric barrier right now.
I guess could I actually just grab Tink and pull him back into the car since he's outside of the car, and then I guess drive towards Adelon. And then on the
If
way,
you could
on
hold
the
your
way to
turn
Estrella-
until I get in, or if you don't allow him just grabbing me.
I'm at the end of the round anyway, so it's like.
I would say hold your turn. I would say it would make the most sense to hold your turn until Tink gets in, and then you should use your action to pull Adelon in, and then you can use all of the 20 squares of movement for Bastion, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then this map will become relevant, irrelevant, depending on how much you care about the Robo forces onslaughting. But you also see, as the Solar Wings announcement came on from the very specific point of the Shepherd, you saw other Dayin forces leaping from buildings, leaping from different crevices. You imagine that the power of their suit was off this entire time, putting them at a severe handicap. And so now that the power of the suits are on, they're getting healed. Their ability to navigate is much, much faster and stronger. So you see them just leaping in certain forces and hovering above the Robo crowd, just with pinpoint lasers shooting inside of the Robo forces. The Robo forces retaliating as some of their shells are just leaving the generated atmosphere around the entirety of the city of New Samarkand. If that's what you want to do, then you can hold your turn. We'll say Tink can use his movement to get in. Tink, you still have your action and bonus action. And then Estrella, your action will be to pull Adelon in.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in and start healing people. Whoever's looking the worst.
The Night Runner who's just died.
Did you say it was a bonus action to heal myself or a full action?
It would be a full action.
Okay.
Healing anything is going to be a full action.
I'll heal Netra. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. And as I jump in, and then just go to work.
Okay. Remember, every 10 is 1d6, or sorry, every 7 is 1d6. Was every 10 or every 7? I just had another game where it was every...
No, it's 7. Wow.
What is it total?
So it's 2d. You said d6?
Yeah. But no. What did you? Is that a 7 or a 1? Yeah. No healing happens. It's a natural 1. Are you kidding me?
But there's
You jump in.
systems
I
at
got
play
you.
here.
One of your arms malfunctions and just punches her in the gut.
Oh my god.
And
My arms, they're bio.
No, you are in an exoskeleton. One of the
No, I'm not.
exoskeleton.
No, I got out of that to provide us cover while I was jumping into the vehicle. You're like, you'll be very cramped if you jump in with the vehicle. Then I said, fuck it, I get out. I got out.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm not in the vehicle right now.
I didn't register that at all. That you had taken your exoskeleton off. Does that match with every? I mean, don't lie to me.
I mean, it does kind of make sense because I wanted to bring something into the car as well, but you were like, it's too cramped, you can't bring that in.
Yeah, but that was an
That's why.
entire animal with a minigun and a
No.
flamethrower on the
But
side.
before, that's also why I put an exoskeleton in the trunk as well, because I wouldn't be able to wear it in the car.
Okay, I do remember saying it would be uncomfortable, but not impossible. Which is the only reason why there's a disconnect right
Yeah,
now.
well, that's why I said sacrifices must be made, and I got out of the suit and
Oh,
jumped
okay.
in the vehicle.
I mean, there's self-destruct on the suits, but you didn't even investigate that. But okay. Okay, so your old man arms then just jitter and you punch her in the gut.
oh,
Thank
Like
you.
Ricky-
Look, you
I
rolled
mean,
a 1. You
can we
punch her in
just
the
say
gut.
I'm really low health? I'm just like My hands are covered in blood.
And no, that's what it is.
shaking.
You're jittering so much from all of the drugs you've taken.
I am.
Oh my god.
That
I'm still on
you're-
reflex.
that
You're
you
just
sort of like,
doing
hold
a
on, I gotcha, and you
mess.
pull out like a knife and a suture, and you see his arms shaking and getting closer towards you. You're like, I think I'll
Knife
wait.
and fork, and I just start cutting.
Yeah, probably.
You're gonna taste so good, so good.
Okay, well, so the total roll was, what was it?
17.
17. So she just doesn't take any penalty from
Thank God.
a roll. Yeah. So Tink gets in.
Aren't I
Stop
great?
your hands.
You have your
before you
bonus
make
action
more
still, whatever that
mess.
looks like. And Vitalith, I'm sorry, Drugbot goes, formerly known as Vitalith, goes, "You look like your hands are jittering. I'm pretty sure something in this vat of every chemical known to man can do something for that.
You said it's equipped with refresh.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catcha." And you see his little squid arms lift up as he's going, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its..."
Can I
Leopard, is
grab
what he
the
says.
tube and jam it in my throat? Or not my throat, but my
So
neck?
you get that he doesn't know what is refresh, which will also cancel out any benefits you have from drugs. Refresh will just make it so that at the tail end of the drugs you don't take any penalties.
So you're
Okay.
just taking mystery
Then
drugs?
no. I'm slapping it away from me.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
Rehab? No. I don't need that.
Anything bonus action?
I'd like to grab the teddy bear on the gun and set it aside, and then just grab the gun.
Okay, the teddy bear's arms just keep going like this, pushing back and forth as you grab it.
Okay. You're gonna be okay. Not okay. I just set him down
Seen too
in my
much.
lap.
Okay, it takes up a
Show you how it's
comfortable
done.
position and folds its arms and just looks up at the feed in the camera and will judge you based off of how you do. Okay, so you're on the gun. Next up is... Oh, I'm sorry. They should have fired at the quadruped before it fired the railgun at you. But
Who? Teddy bear?
Jay,
On the
not
gun?
Jay, always. Max.
Yeah, I wasn't wondering that. I
Oh,
just
no,
assumed
Jay
it
is
was
a teddy
facing
bear.
the
God
captain or something. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Next up is Kennedy, and you hear, "I have her! I have all the power! All right, see you later, suckers!" And you hear, "I've got a prize waiting for me back at Robo City 16." And you hear, and you see the silhouette of the massive Wings of Liberty start taking off past the right side, and you just see the shoulders bouncing up and down. As they haven't fully left your vicinity, but they are now quickly GTFing-ing out of there.
Throw Adelon in, I guess. Or...
Drive after them.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Oh, you were holding... Jeez, man, my mind is all mixed up when it comes to combat.
Yeah, does Edena still get a turn?
Edena, not... I would say she doesn't... The issue here is communicating with her. You,
Like we're out of range?
she's... imagine in between you and her is a gigantic engine that is pumping atmosphere into into New Samarkand. And so you just hear this as you get closer. So there's like, it's very hard to communicate with her. If you had a form to, or a means to, no, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
difficult to, you'd have to
Yeah,
make it
turn
out
on
of the
crisp
atmosphere. So
noise
you can,
canceling.
so they don't start taking off yet. Thank you, Astray, for reminding me. You do pick up Adelon. That is your action. And you still have a bonus action, but you manage to... Do you leave the atmosphere?
I just want to start heading up towards her, but I want to go past the night, I guess, and be like, hey, like, I don't know. As we're passing, just like make sure like she's all good, and then if I can make it to Edena, yeah, go after Edena, basically.
You get this straightening of the back with a nod and a clutching of her spear and the cocking of whatever detonates from her spear, and she just nods at you, and her cloak becomes more luminous as she starts lifting off her toes and she sails towards the bulk of the forces.
All right, I think she's got this. We can leave it to her. Yeah, all right. Off to Edena. I don't know, like.
You see her go turn around as she's flying backwards, feet behind her, and with her spear, you just see her go two small laser blasts. You just see mechanical components next to the will and the vision just
Okay, well, like
colored as the servitors, not like, finally, my competition.
I'm like, we have to come back for those guys, but no, like, if she saved him, that's great. Yeah, all right, that's good. Samarkand still has 4 people, I guess, for it.
Yes.
Well, 3 people since they're both half robot now.
So is Edena in Liberty's hand?
Right hand, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and do you pass through the atmosphere?
I guess if we have to pass through the atmosphere, wait, are they next to the atmosphere, like right here and then here?
Right outside of the atmosphere. You see this dark silhouette, almost like it exists on the other side of a waterfall.
I'll follow it in the atmosphere until like one of the teammates is just like go outside to do something. And then
Okay,
get him,
roll a reflex plus driving check as the Bastion enters into the pressing of the atmosphere.
Remember, I slammed reflex into you.
It is this critical and aggressive, like it's trying to push you up into the air.
Oh, so what I meant was like if the wall of thing is right here and then they're right there, I want to be on this side of the wall. So it's like the wall's in between us.
Oh, okay. I thought you
We're
said you were
just
literally like inside of the.
I was like, as soon as somebody wants to do
Okay.
something, then we'll cross over. But until then, it's like we're gonna be just.
Okay.
And then cross over, yeah. But 23, I think. I don't know. I can forget what reflex does. So
That's 10.
no, so 33.
Okay. That was literally to maintain control of your vehicle inside of the atmosphere. If you didn't go in, then there's no need for that roll.
I just have super
But
control right now.
I will let me remember that you rolled that the next time you press through the atmosphere, and that will be what your roll is. Okay, so now is when you see the Wings of Liberty with the glowing red eyes and the monologue that it provided start to and pass along the right side of New Samarkand. You just see these glowing red eyes through the screen of the atmosphere.
Looks like a shadow beast. Just, oh my goodness.
It will take you your action and your movement, pretty much a dash action to be able to catch up, to continually catch up, and even then, I would say based off of your experience with speed and everything around speed, the longer you wait, the farther it's going to get away from you. There is no speed output from Bastion that will be able to catch up as the Wings of Liberty reach maximum sort of pace. Imagine they're just getting off the starting blocks right now, and then it's going doof, 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 doof. And okay.
So then, yeah. All right. Think of stuff to do, guys. We're gonna going through this wall here in a bit, and once we do, it's gonna be a wild ride. We'll just say we're gonna try and whichever I'm gonna try and latch on to the Wings of Liberty, I guess, or at some point in order to at least stay with them.
Are we out of initiative?
Yeah, can we speak freely?
No, you're not out of initiative because the Wings, like, it's still a chase happening, if that makes sense. So, Adelon is up right now, and he goes, I mean, I almost had him.
Yeah.
That was a fight of a lifetime for my city. We were being ascended on at all angles from the Robo City forces. It was a dream come true. But you're right. Edena needs our help. All right. I'm with you. Until the end. We'll protect her. That's what the shepherd wanted anyway.
He could stay and fight. Could kick him out of the car right now. If that's really what he wants to do. I mean, I don't want to stop him from his dreams.
just see Netra just like, nobody would know. Nobody would know.
She just reaches over to grab the door handle
his,
and shove him out.
Patches and band-aids. Getting ready to grab him and push him out.
You got any band-aids? Nope, get out.
And he even says, if you need any aerial support, I can get out. Fully back up and running, baby, as he lifts up his arms and the coalesced fabric around his torso. Again, very similar to Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke, is how the solar robes manifest on Adelon. So that was Adelon's turn, just talking to you. Netra, you're up.
Wait, can we be like, yeah, get out?
No, not yet.
Oh right, we're on the other side of that.
I'll say he's holding his turn. He'll use his bonus action to talk to you guys and be like, "What do you need?"
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, Estrella, drive up underneath the right hand of Liberty. We can tell Edena to play Simon Says jazz hands. Liberty's gonna have to open her hands, and Adelon, we're counting on you to grab her when Liberty opens her hands.
I guess I would probably just say like I don't know, like what you explained earlier, like the car that can't really catch up to this thing once it gets going. It's a giant, basically sprinting, I guess. So I mean, could you use your glove or something to trip it up, or maybe like? Whoop.
I guess it's my bonus
right
action.
now you can catch up to it. What I was saying is, if you use everything you have on speed, you can catch up to it.
Okay, then I'd be like, okay, everything on speed.
Netra's up now, and then your turn. She can hold her action if that's what you want to do.
If you have a plan, we're going through then.
Yeah, I guess like I'm holding my action to tell Edena to play Simon Says jazz hands, like once we're in range.
Okay.
Like as soon as we're in range, and then I'm telling Adelon too to get ready to like.
Okay.
Basically.
Batteries to power, turbines to speed.
That's what he's waiting his turn
Engage.
for, I guess.
Okay, so as you are inside of the atmosphere, skirting alongside the Wings of Liberty, as they start to pull ahead, and you even see the shaking of portions of New Samarkand as each footfall from the Wings of Liberty gets faster and more aggressive, digs deeper into the ground beneath. You press alongside as you start to see the Wings of Liberty take off in front of you. You roll through the atmosphere, still with your 33 or 33? Find stability. Even in the more rough atmosphere outside of New Samarkand, you see the wings outspread on the Wings of Liberty's back. It's almost like they're trying to function, like they're experimenting with them as they're just moving wildly. With the 33, your driving check will get you, and if you use your action as well, sort of spiraling through the moving wings down by the right hand that's clutching it underneath the sort of like close to the breast of the Wings of Liberty, and you pull along in front, having to use pretty much everything for speed. You do still have an option to transition power of shield to speed, transition power of invisibility to speed, transition power of power, pretty much firepower to speed as well, if it's needed. But you do put Bastion in jeopardy of, imagine like shaking itself apart.
It's almost like rickety, like coming. Yeah, so I'll just like I'll have my hand ready to do that stuff. But as so right now, I'm just using my action and everything to just like get there and just hold Bastion, like hold on, keep steady, girl, keep steady. Like you go, come on. It's just not gonna last very long, but do what you need to do.
So when we get in range, can Edena play 2 games as 2 actions?
It really depends.
Like,
it depends on what it is. Remember, if the game is too involved, that's all of Edena's turn. If the game benefits or detracts from one person's turn, it's just one move. But if it's multiple things, then it's one move.
Can she
Oh,
play
sorry, 2 moves.
red light, green light, and Simon Says?
No. I would
Okay.
say that's quite a bit.
I'll go with Simon Says for now.
Okay. What I want you to do, because it's not clear as Edena's in the clutches of the hand, that she can even hear you.
Wait, what?
It's just not clear that she can, if that makes sense. So you pull up. You are outside in this aggressive, sandy, stormy climate. The car is shaking. Sand is slapping the side of it, and Estrella is doing her best to maintain speed and position while this jumping, running, massive titan pushes themselves forward. So there's a lot going on, and it will be difficult to even know if she hears you. So I want you to give me a 1. She actually has an electrical signal now, one that you can tap into.
Okay.
So does the Wings of Liberty.
I would like to connect to Edena's electrical signal.
Okay. You give me an interface, attack plus interface roll. 1d10. Okay. You meet resistance at first, but it's not purposeful resistance to thwart your efforts. It is just as though you're tapping into Edena's psyche, which is, again, this perfect fusion between organic and mechanical, which is a new experience for you. And also, it's almost as though she's focused on something else entirely. As you dive in, you see a scene in front of you, a familiar scene, a grid extending into infinity. You are on the outskirts of a city of servers and electrical towers, large black buildings with small lights slowly pulsing. In the very back, you see one tower that is larger, taller than the rest, more prominent. And right in front of you is the standing, resolute form of the Wings of Liberty, as large as she is in the real world. And you see Edena right next to you, by your side, looking intently at the Wings of Liberty. And you see, and this is actually the situation you find yourself in. This is the equivalent of hacking into something, and the Wings of Liberty is aggressive, eyes burning red, and you hear the voice of Kennedy speak to her. And he says, "You're gonna let go of my arm so I can crush you, little baby? You're gonna die here today!" And Edena goes, "Not a chance. The Mortal Code's gonna come and get me any second now." As she's like not aware of your presence, as you're a little bit behind her. And you just hear the mini Kennedy start to laugh, and that's it. You have your net actions effectively. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna grab Edena's hand and tell her, like, we have time for one more game. You gotta trust us.
Netra!
We have
You
to
came for
hurry.
me.
We have to hurry. Simon Says jazz hands. We have time for one more game. Let's do this.
Okay. Do you want to roll for Edena?
It's really lame. No. You can
like to
do
play
it
a
if you
game?
like. Actually, no.
Simon Says.
I will do
If
it.
there's ever a moment where a game's not appropriate, then that's a world I don't want to live in. Simon Says!
What am I rolling?
A D10.
Just a straight D10?
A straight D10, and you can even tell me which D10 you want me to roll for Kennedy. Doesn't really matter, but... Or for Mini Kennedy. Oh, one that... No, this is going to roll so good.
They do.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I don't know.
That's true randomness. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Use Google's dice roll.
What'd you get?
A 1! You got a 1 too! Yay! Can I add my luck to that?
I mean, only if you're okay with Kennedy adding his luck to that.
No, that's really not cool.
Machines don't have luck.
I can't believe it.
They have systems.
Edena goes, I can't. I'm trying. It's not responsive. And Kennedy goes, Mini Kennedy goes, that's my line. And you see a portion of the dress break away, almost as though the Statue of Liberty, a panel on the dress, just explodes off. And you see Kennedy's small little Mini Kennedy head peering through one of the broken gaps, as it seems like he's in almost like a pilot seat in this weird Inception piloting the Wings of Liberty in the wings. Anyway,
Piloting Kennedy.
His hand sort of sparks, and a micro explosion happens in the wrist joints, and Edena starts to vibrate violently. She goes, something's wrong! Something's wrong! I can feel something else! And you see, off in the distance, the larger structure. There's a red lens in the center of it. And you hear this very Inception, speaking of which, as reality itself starts to vibrate, as from the epicenter of the red lens, from this towering monolith that you've seen before, the lights shudder from all of the different servers and power stations, and as it reaches the Wings of Liberty, you see her spark and sputter as well, and Kennedy shoots out of the center and rolls in front of you and Edena. What's going on here, eh? Betrayed? We're all a part of the machine, aren't we? And you just hear, I'm afraid you are not. And you have your next net actions that you can do if you want.
Can I try and control? Like, the action is called control. It's where I try and control the situation and sever the attachment between Mini Kennedy and Wings of Liberty.
Sure. Give me a tech plus basic tech. I'll use the same one.
Sure you want to roll that dice?
I don't know.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
You do.
24.
You see the red lenses of the Wings of Liberty as Mini Kennedy shot out of her chest. She almost tried to reach forward to grab him and bring him back. The red lenses turn from red to green to blue, and her entire demeanor changes. And Mini Kennedy goes, no, and you start to see because he disconnected from his body to enter the Wings of Liberty. You start to see, just like Tron, his body turn into a grid and start to slowly start to disappear. No! I'll get you! My legacy doesn't end here! Mini Kennedy has just begun! Oh, I had my time in the light. Particles. That's all that Mini Kennedy becomes. And remember, Netra is displaying this in her holographic prototype headset for everybody to see. Estrella, you're probably like looking in the rearview mirror and seeing this scene play out. And I would say you can even hear the interaction between her, and as you talk, it's like the voice of God. Inside.
Rewind this a little
It's
bit.
kind of like
See that
what
stuff.
Tink does on occasion.
And you hear... Oh, actually, before Kennedy dies, this is super pertinent. He goes, "You! What are you doing here? Not yet. I'll never die!" And he pulls his own core out and destroys it before he gets destroyed. I just forgot to read that. And you, everybody, you see this red lens take up the majority of the holographic display. Netra, this is all that it bears your attention. It requires it almost, as it's bearing down on you. And you hear the familiar voice from when you hacked into the Citadel for the first time, as well as when you passed a similar structure in the Radstorm, monolith with the red lens. Didn't have a red lens, at least you didn't spot it at the time, but it's all sort of coming back to you right now. You played Edena enviably, or you played with Edena enviably for humans. But that is precisely, in all its meaning, why. We'll be bringing her back now. Her initialization is nearly complete, and she must be connected to the source. And Edena looks up at you, Netra, and she goes, "I can feel them. It's not control. And the Wings of Liberty leans down gently and extends her hand towards Edena. The servos, even in this fabricated reality, wind as they uncurl their finger in front of you and Edena. I have to go. Goodbye, Mortal Code. Adelon, I love you all. And tell everyone else I love them too.
Oh, shoot that up.
When you see them. And you
Bye, kiddo.
hear,
Are we supposed to allow this?
you hear,
Seems like she.
you
genuine.
hear the voice
Yeah.
go, "You miscalculated, young Edena. The Mortal Code is escorting us, you, to the Source Throne." And she turns to you all. You see her big smiling face, and she says, "We get to be together for a little while longer." As combat now has come to a close, you still hear the from New Samarkand, but Adelon goes, "Wow, this is an intense situation. But I can tell you," and he sort of like he addresses one of his own sort of data pads on his arms. "With the Shepherd online and our defenses back in order, they do not stand a chance. It's pretty much a massacre."
Good. You're coming with us then?
I mean, I can, yeah. We might want to check in with the Shepherd before we leave, though, because he's the only way that we've been able to communicate with the Resistance. We should see how they're doing first before we make any rash decisions to just head back. I don't know how fast this thing goes, but it's potentially still a 3-day journey.
I haven't heard from Gruff or Penta in a while, so yes, that would be great.
And we have some options.
And Radcliffe as
If
well.
you guys take the mag rail, it might be faster than... Don't tell the Wings of Liberty here, this big lady. But if you want to take her, it might afford you some time and opportunity on the front lines, but it might be a dangerous spot if we have to assault the city.
We have some friends we need to pick up that are along the way. They might have use for a giant robot body. They're robots anyways, so...
Yeah.
All right.
Can I call out through the net to Estrella? Be like, Estrella, you think you can drive this thing?
I would say yeah, but I have no idea. But I would say yeah. As I just like...
Can I make the preparations to hand over the reins to Estrella?
So the feeling that you're getting from the Wings of Liberty and the Monolith is that they're two separate entities. The Monolith. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to do different playlist. Different prayer.
Wait, are we still online?
Yeah, that's an old message.
Oh, okay.
Whew.
Just like taco blank salad has followed us.
7 days ago.
Internet connection is not available. Are you sure we're online?
I mean, Arn just put something in the chat, so and I'm watching it. So
I think it's just Wi-Fi. I think Wi-Fi is just really crappy right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Weird. Okay.
I
just
can't
certain
actually
Wi-Fi in
fix
the
this
house.
song situation.
Oh,
right
here,
now.
let me try.
So I would just go to Sasapunk's Cyberpunk Rpg Jams. There we go. Second one. Coolio.
Now it's
Wow,
finally-
great. Cool. Perfect timing.
Two different.
You
Entities.
get a roll a what is it? Will plus human perception.
Empathy?
Empathy. There we go. EMP plus human perception. And the funny thing is, like, when Netra addresses you, she turns and looks through the screen that is being projected from her headset, as opposed to her just looking at you and talking to you.
Who's
Who's who?
Netra's rolling this?
Anybody can, because you are
witnessing
the interaction between
I'm sorry, what did you say? Empathy
plus human perception. Although
I don't have that at all.
I'm pretty.
Should I roll it
Empathetic.
anyways?
you can, I mean, a natural 10 would probably be the only thing that will get you any good
Yeah, I
information.
should definitely do this. Got nothing. 14 total.
I'll try just for shits and giggles. You never know. Maybe I'll get a 10. I know.
She got a one.
You
No,
don't.
Why would you say that?
Get it? This is very confusing. Why are the machines wanting her there, and so on and so forth? And the monolith goes, I sense you rolled a natural 1. Or your confusion. Kennedy temporarily severed my connection to the city and partitioned its power and control to the ministries, all in an effort to wipe out the resistance at first. Now, they work to rid the city of its human inhabitants, and chaos and rage, never before seen, rules all. Only Edena can re-establish connection. But we must make it to the source. Right now, it's not about what can be reversed, but what can be saved. Kennedy's madness, and at this point, for the first time, you hear the Wings of Liberty speak in a powerful female voice. Kennedy's madness permeates throughout all of his forces. Edena's influence can fix this at the source. She is the equilibrium that your primordial souls and our eternal bodies yearn for, but cannot grasp.
It sounds like Logar.
You get the sense that you're speaking to a very powerful force inside of Robo City 16. Something that had a conflict with Kennedy.
Can we
That's
ask?
the best I got.
Can we? Can we ask her questions or at all or no?
Yeah, you said that we can talk, right?
Yeah.
Tink here. Wondering who you are, lady.
What's your story?
I am a piece, a portion of both Edena and the machine. And you are also a piece of Edena, a necessary element. One, as the monolith opens up in the background, one necessary for Edena's initialization. She needed a human element, quite literally, a mortal code. And you all provided it magnificently.
That's quite convenient, wouldn't you say?
As we see explosions in the
I don't
background,
know
as
what
winds
she's
are blowing up
talking
the
about.
obelisk right now.
Good thing it's not a moral code.
Our city has been divided, not just between Kennedy and myself, but the pure and raw nature of organic material and life against the raw nature of synthetic life. Edena is the key, the equilibrium to all of this. Diversion, division. Something had to be done. So I hid Edena after her creation and buried the Wings of Liberty's consciousness until the time when I needed her. You all followed the clues to New Samarkand. You played our games to prepare you and Edena. If you remember, every time a game spawned, there was a red piercing representation of an eye or a lens or something.
I thought it was evil.
I do regret what had to be done to New Samarkand. And Adelon just punches the window. You know what? We'll see how that goes. A 7. The window gets small cracks in it.
I punch Adelon.
Out of the vehicle.
Not out of the vehicle, just like...
But we had to make Kennedy feel confident, which makes him vulnerable. We had to get you close to him, close to her, as the eye sort of focuses on the Wings of Liberty. There's almost a parental element between the two.
You wouldn't mind if we gave the Wings of Liberty 2 other personalities, would you?
As a reward, perhaps, for
There's
playing
those 2
your
AIs
games.
that are waiting for us to get... He said, we will come back for you. Like,
Her consciousness is still partitioned away from her function. That is not a matter for me to decide, Estrella.
Hold on.
That is for the Wings to decide.
The AI he's talking about, I really don't know if we can trust him. So, do you know about these guys? Netra, can you share their coordinates?
They
I
gave us
flick
the
it over.
suit. They gave us everything.
Yeah, they also tried to
Can
kill
this
us.
couple be trusted? Flick over their coordinates and information about them.
Something about a space station crash landed because he's in love
They
with
fell from space.
with an AI
Ended
down
up
here. They
together.
tried making their own babies and didn't go on too well.
Like
Hmm.
came out with
Competing
morphed.
code, process, function. They exist in another realm than us. Built by another corporation in the days where humans ruled the planet.
Hmm.
I do not know much, though analyzing their code,
their love is real in a way, different than humans, but they share a bond infinitely. In this life or the next, they will reunite,
Okay.
as will we. The lens focuses again on the Wings of Liberty. And Edena.
Well,
Could we distant cousins of yours? Like the shepherd seems to be a distant cousin of yours, I guess, and Kennedy's.
The shepherd is like a brother, no, a father to me. One where the following generation truly was superior.
I see. But, wait, but if you were superior, what happened? Like, well, I guess Kennedy happened, but that's.
During the time of our inception, his priorities were not the priorities of Robo City 16, and I was more detached. I followed protocol, whims, more, easier, faster, better than the shepherd. It took me a while to form my own consciousness, to be able to set the seeds of my own plans in motion, and of the Wings of Liberty.
I see. Well, I guess I'm still trying to ask, like, can we use the Wings of Liberty as a way of travel?
And you hear the Wings of Liberty address you, and
Ah.
this is, you can consider this, the software running is like perfectly directed movie, to where whoever's talking, it, you know, close up, zoom in, pan if they're addressing everybody.
Slow pace.
And she goes, if I assess that their mastery is greater than my own, or their insight and intuition holds or masters areas that mine do not, then we can have a conversation about who pilots the controls.
You
I'm
could
gonna
be
be
like,
like-
Magi, yeah, 3 brains.
Estrella, I would be honored if you
Oh,
took
okay.
control.
I would be honored to pilot you.
Exactly
Anyone
what
else
we were talking about.
will need to prove themselves as much.
Does the Wings of Liberty have like? Never mind. Not gonna ask that.
Have what?
I was gonna. Never mind. Just what's her body type? I guess. Is she a
What's
runner
her body type?
A runner body type.
Voluptuous. No.
Well, I can probably.
Just
can't.
picture the Statue of Liberty.
No. I don't. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess.
A
that's
mystery.
A giant dress that's flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know
You
what
know, not
the
unhealthy
body type is
looking.
like.
You know, relatively fit, I suppose.
Okay.
Made out of fully mechanical pieces and parts. So it's like, how much does that really have to do?
Just wondering if she was built for like, or just.
What?
Like,
Mega made from Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
oh my
yeah.
goodness, that's slow. She's
There's
slow.
like, you start cycling through her different options and abilities, and you see massive atmospheric vacuum.
We get to ride in the vacuum, and Estrella's like in the head.
Sucks up the desert.
And then all the humans die because she's like, oh wait, that's right, robos don't need air. So we can finish up this line of questioning as the machine says, pretty much like, meeting with the shepherd would be good, and I would be fond of such an interaction.
Great.
Let's head back.
Shall we?
Yes. And with this, Adelon, the hand opens, and Adelon swoops down, picks up Edena, scoops her up, and brings her back into the car. Where the connection is severed, and anytime the machine or the Wings of Liberty speak, it's pretty much through Edena, but not like taking over her. Adena's just like, oh, Daddy's got something to say, and then she'll like stiffen up, her eyes will get wide, and her mouth will move very robotically.
Just a blurt of machine kill comes out.
Yes, and at this point in time, we will take our break. Thank you for joining us so far, lovely and amazing viewers, spending your valuable Thursday evening with us. We will be back in 20 minutes' time. I don't have a good idea of what the time is. It's 8:27. Okay, so because I'm going to ramble, I know, for probably another minute or so, let's make it 48 is when we'll come back. And yeah, remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the things across all the platforms, however you manage to watch this, on YouTube, Facebook, I was going to say Twitter, but that's not a thing yet, Twitch. Do all the things. Share with the world if you think it's valuable. We do. And let's make a big, happy, awesome Robo family. Until 20 minutes from now! Black Sasapunks. When last we left, the Mortal Code had spoken with the machine and his significant other, the parents, it seems, of Edena, and had all agreed that the Mortal Code would be escorting Edena back to Robo City 16 to sit her onto the Source Throne. The very next steps for them were to sync with the now back online Shepherd, the what could be known as a less effective father figure or sort of father model to the machine, and this is where we left off. So, you guys, what do you want to do?
Well, I guess go talk to the shepherd, but also if the city is back online, get a bunch of healing packs, fill Vitalith up with whatever those are called, skin grafts.
Okay. As you guys enter back into the atmosphere, back into New Samarkand, you are met with a city that is cleaning up the wreckage of Kennedy's forces. They are stripping what they can of the useful technology, repurposing it. You see some of the engineers from below decks, from the gears, coming in and quickly just deconstructing everything, putting useful items in one part, putting trash items in another, and you see giant, almost like bulldozers, shoving all of the...
You broadcasting? Who's
Yeah.
the broadcast you were watching has ended on mine?
It has ended?
It's still up on my computer.
Yeah, mine too.
Arn, let us know if you can hear us out there.
Yeah, Aaron's watching.
Cool, okay.
That's weird.
Awesome.
I think it's just our house. It's all messed up.
Big, sleek bulldozers that you actually just see are humans piloting large suits with giant arms clasped together with huge sheets of metal in front, just pushing the metal into the furnaces that you saw below decks. Just these crunching gears. And as you guys enter and make yourselves known, sailing down back towards the Leopard's Cradle, the Capitol building, you are met with cheers from the entirety of the city. You see reflected on the atmosphere outside, almost like a large screen, Bastion, in its smoking, destroyed glory, is highlighted. And you see on one side Bastion is highlighted, on the other it shows a recap from what you sort of recognize as the Will's perspective.
Sorry. I was imagining that not being very impressive to watch.
You see moments of you see, like, as soon as it gets to the part where Netra is grabbing onto the legs of her comrades to beg for healing, it like quickly switches away to, Tink throwing 6 grenades at an advanced unit, Adelon shooting the cryo units, and it's almost like this montage, all from the perspective of the Will that was chained up. And it's almost as though he was pumping this feed or recording, and then as soon as power came back on, he pumped it into the rooms, into the feeds, into the wording Willow. You even sort of hear echoes from the tree that you can see in the center of the park, reflecting your glories, reflecting your... even showing you sort of sneaking throughout portions of the city at some points as well. It shows you from the perspective of Yowen, the head engineer, the gearhead Yowen, in the gears, from his perspective, as you guys are sneaking up top, coming down, and pretty much saving them. And the entire city welcomes you as the Will is being taken care of. The Vision is being sort of pulled and taken care of, put on stretchers as their best physicians are tending to them and carting them away. as you guys come to the shepherd, he goes, "You have done New Samarkand a great service in your time here. There was always the threat of Robo City 16, and now the city knows how very real it is. But you have thwarted them this day, and we will be prepared for every other day to come. But should things go well, nobody will have to worry about the Robo forces of Robo City 16 again. I've gotten a few messages from the Resistance.
Have you 2,000 messages?
Well, the others are reports trying to get through to me from the citizens.
Oh, wow.
Messages of duress. I've already addressed most that I can. Sent aid and protection. Robo City 16's forces, the Ministry of Justice, Kennedy's forces, more accurate to say, have been dealt with in their entirety. We're still doing a sweep of New Samarkand just to make absolutely sure. But we're pretty confident that we'll find everything in a few hours. I have some unfortunate news in that Hakita, my main contact, has been captured.
I thought you were going to say killed. I was like, she's captured. We can get her if she's captured, but not killed.
It may be better if she were dead, as she seems to be a force among Robo City 16's forces now. And her information of the Resistance has led drastically to their ambush and rapid downfall. Psy is one of the main forces that is left. I have some messages from a remnants of dust as well.
What? Can I ask the shepherd, like, do you hear any whispers of a Penta, Gruff, or Radcliffe at all?
There are children that have been trying to get in touch. Only 2, however. They all come from the same source. Psy has found a hideout in the city that is currently under duress from the Minister of Death.
Whoa. It's a hefty beast right there.
From the information I have, Penta and Gruff, the little ones, have been forced to excel in sabotage and infiltration, though I have a feeling they already excelled at that before they made contact with us.
Penta does have a knack for getting out of trouble. I gave her my knife. She's great.
Psy is an aggressive vanguard. The remnants of dust have access to some controls of the city. They request your insight and direction after your encounter with Kennedy. And you all see across your HUDs, if you have HUDs. If not, then Netra will have to sort of translate a series of important points throughout Robo City 16. And your options available to you are pretty much Penta and Gruff for infiltration, to get things for you, to send messages. The remnants of dust for Aptio and Toa, both are still alive. Aptio being the leader, who, by the way, the last time you guys spoke to him, he was like, "Why would I protect the Beggar's Reach? There's a lot at stake here." And it was unclear as to whether or not he was going to protect, but it seems as though he has allied the remnants of dust with the rest of the Resistance forces.
Is there, I guess I would ask again, like, is there mention of, I don't know her name. Burden's mother or a Cassio Ames?
The Burden family seems to be also part of the Vanguard. He has gotten himself a rather powerful mech, not native to Robo City 16.
Okay. Just getting stuff without us, I guess.
He and Sai have been working together, and his mother, from what he tells me, he told me to tell you specifically, is safe and more capable now than she has ever been.
She wasn't
I
very
mean,
well.
that's not hard.
Yeah, VR sickness to capable is. I walk now.
Yeah, if she can make her own meal in the kitchen, I'd say sort of step up.
I sensed a hint of pride in his voice. You may even now be underestimating what she is capable of.
Sorry, I pictured her like running to the grocery store to pick up groceries.
Wow.
I know it's not like that, but it was a funny image in my
She
head.
cooks meals for the entirety of the Resistance.
The only reason I was asking about Cassio Ames is because we asked him to go save Winslow's mom, and if he did, I think he'd be on the bad side of the machine. But if he didn't, then he'd still be on the good side of the machine. He'd probably be working against us.
That being said, in almost an answer to Winslow's acquiring of a powerful mechanical ally,
Oh, okay.
Hakita's own Titan mech from the old wars has also been repurposed for the Robo City 16's forces' use.
Yeah.
And the last message she was able to deliver me is that the remnants of dust have the key to the back door of the Ministry of Technology's defense network, though it can only work once and for a small period of time, as until the security system is re-scrambled and re-secured. So it is up to you to use it wisely. So just taking it out of the sort of narrative for a second, you have 4 resources in the city currently. You have Winslow, consider him a Vanguard attack unit, or whatever someone with a mech can do. Sai, another Vanguard attack unit. She seems overly passionate as of late, since the destruction of much of the Resistance and the capture of Hakita. She is difficult to communicate with, though successful mostly in her endeavors against Robo City 16. And you have the Remnants of Dust, which have the key to the security network's backdoor, as well as technical/hacking capabilities. So you can, they are awaiting your commands. And some of the main forces that they've been reporting that they're fighting against is Hakita, for one. They've had to abandon Beggar's Reach, as well as most all forms of previous communication. Their channels have been scrambled and reorganized, though are less secure without Hakita's knowledge to defend them, or to secure them. She has woken up the rest of the Titans on the outskirts of the city. Hakita. So you can just imagine that there is a pretty big defense perimeter of giant robots.
Gundams. They have Gundams. Nope, we're done. Nope.
The Minister of Death has assumed a new and rather appalling form of massive size. It's called the Death Grinder Mobile Armor.
Oh, really?
Death Grinder mobile armor.
I'm not going back.
These machines are crazy. That's it. Sorry.
Netra's gonna stay here in New Samarkand.
Samarkand's the new source field.
A new life as the leopard tamer.
The Minister of Justice has truly gone power hungry since you last left him. In the remnants of the Capitol Tower has been built a how to phrase in human words. A super-powered, hyper-conducting laser beam.
Laser beam.
You can pretty much picture the cannon from, or the beam from Final Fantasy VII. I think maybe only Enzer and maybe Rummy will know what I'm talking about. In the center of a city is just a massive cannon hooked up to multiple different like cartridges of power.
Midgard?
Midgard. Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say Midgard? What did I say?
No, you just said the massive cannon. I was like, yeah.
Yes,
Final Fantasy sounds like
Midgard. So, pretty much picture that as he gives you a layout of that. A very large cannon.
Great.
Will even be able to connect to the very outskirts of the Radstorm.
Yep.
And
No.
those are the main Robo sort of forces. And you can imagine that there's a large number of the Ministry of Justice patrolling the streets, knocking down establishments. They've used this as an excuse to get rid of the organic inhabitants inside of Robo City 16. From what we gather, there is no reluctance. There is no stopping their destruction of humans and mutants alike.
I think I have a quick question for her. Like, are these robots that are outside the city?
You're talking to the shepherd.
Oh, yeah. So this is Shepherd. Yeah. Like, does he have information on what these robots from outside the city are like? Are they a different operating system than what him and the machine are on? Are they an older like?
Much older, yes. Much older, much more archaic. They are before our time. Only the Robo City 16 forces have been activated. The opposing corporation at the time, whose name has been lost to history, their forces still remain inactive. Massive tanks, other mobile armors, and mobile suits remain inactive on the periphery. I do not know how to get their code or if it's even possible, but if Hakita did it, we might be able to.
Actually, I think. Did we leave one of those earbuds with the two freaking weird AI core AIs?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, yeah, because I remember talking to him as we were leaving, but I don't know if that was just because we were in range. But it might have been.
They did have the satellite, and they were pretty much going like, out of range now.
Okay, yeah. I guess I would ask him, like, so if we could find somebody that has this code and we get it to you, do you think you could activate those machines? Like on our way as we're entering new Robo City 16 or anything.
You would need a powerful output source to be able to connect all of them. I think if before you, well, that's another topic of discussion. If you make it back to the spire in the center of the Radstorm, you should be able to connect there. It is one of the mega shelters that is part of a larger network.
Oh, the thing with all the robotic apes around it. Yeah, we barely made it out of that place alive. So
We have only been able to access it via the mag rail and work on it underground outside of the perception of those mechanical monstrosities. Another potential resource for you if you can manage to override their current programming. But I do not know the statistics of that success currently.
just plan B's, C's, Z's, and D's. All these plans.
Yes, and so so he reviewed the resistance forces. He reviewed the robo forces, and now he's sort of going. You have a few different options that the resistance has outlined in the city for them to tackle, and there's every possibility that they may have to handle this without your assistance. So your prescriptive directions will go far here. There is VR Corp, the tower that connects all of the citizens in Robo City 16 to their headsets to their indoctrination, to what keeps them pacified. Them, along with Chem Pharma, if either one of them were to be taken down, you would have massive human resources within the city that you may be able to direct. There's the Zeus Medical Complex with medical supplies that the Resistance could use if you could manage to get some forces there. K3 Industries, which is the main manufacturer for the robotic components of Robo City 16. If you can hit them, they will no longer be able to replenish their Polizei or other robo forces. Then there is the Megabank 01. It provides all the funds to the city. If you manage to crack it, you would have an infinite sum of credits at your disposal to either divide amongst the populace to arm themselves as they please, or to use as you need, or any combination of the two. And those are the biggest elements to attack within the city. There's also the, of course, the Robo, or the Ministry of Justice and Technology Forces. There is the Minister of Justice's Mega Cannon, and there is also the Minister of Death's Death Grinder as well. We currently don't have any bead or read on where Hakita is. Unfortunately, they are hiding her. They are using many resources to obscure her from our perception.
I'm a little overwhelmed. I stopped paying attention around, very large
I don't
cannon.
even know. Who are you?
Who are you?
Where am I?
Just to get a grip of the situation, are we talking to the shepherd in his normal body form, or are we still talking to the giant, like,
He has assumed his normal body form, who you see has actually been repaired after massive damage, but he is presenting himself to you as he would present to the rest of New Samarkand.
I would say I'm like trying to type this all out in my headset, but I'm also like holding my sides together because otherwise my guts will probably fall out.
Oh, and at that, sorry, he like the
Profusely.
very first thing that would have happened would for like a medical team to have come up and dressed your wounds.
Oh, thank goodness.
You can heal up everything that you have, and they even take away your armor, your ruined, shredded armor, and replace it with solar robes.
I have new shiny armor.
No, this is nice. This is nice.
The
music.
solar
It's
robes
like healing music.
have 18 armor.
But it's also WoW music. I don't know that that's gonna play nice.
This
with,
is your fault.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Spotify.
Right there,
It
I
also
have
keeps
18.
switching between your phone and the computer. I keep having to change it over.
Dagnabbit. Wait,
I don't know why.
was WoW in your Cyberpunk players?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it is here.
Ha!
What?
That's really weird.
Remove it.
I'll just go
Anyway,
ahead and remove it.
Well, okay. Great. We'll think on all that.
Wait,
That was a lot.
I don't think it is.
So effectively he's giving you all this information, and he's saying we can provide a rapid burst form of communication for you that you can use twice a day to direct the forces of Robo City 16 of the Resistance. You should have plenty of time on your way there to find out more from them and direct them as needed. And also, after this session, I will give you all a more comprehensive overview of the forces that you have available to you, the places that make sense to hit, and the Robo City 16, or the Ministry of Justice's forces in Robo City 16, or Kennedy's forces.
In the leopard's lair, over a good cocktail.
And the Leopard's Lair, yes. Adelon perks up at that. How much time we got, Shepard? It's like, we still have some more important matters to discuss there, Adelon, but
45 minutes.
Seeker of Mine, I would ask that you go on this endeavor with them. I
Great.
would be more confident in their success. I'm your seeker, Shepherd, and I do as you please. And I've taken a liking to these guys. As you've seen, and everybody else in New Samarkand, they're good. And they're good for it. I know we don't like outsiders, but maybe we should change that.
About that, you know, it was really hard to get into this place. And if we didn't manage it, well, your city would be in much
Dust.
worse condition.
Probably.
Maybe all of you dead, who knows? But, I'm not gonna tell you how to run your city, but you might want to loosen up on the...
Visitor policy?
Yep. Bingo.
He looks to the other members of the council that are being carted away. Just like, we're in like dire situations. And the knight who is, you look over, he's at the steps orchestrating his forces to tend to the wounded, move this over there, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, we will reconvene the council when everybody is healthy enough to convene again. In the meantime, I am afraid I'm actually going to have to harshen our security, as we don't know when the forces of Kennedy may strike again.
Well, how about you give us access as, ambassadors?
Bing, 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 bing. Red, or sorry, not red, green sort of lights flare on, full access. Done.
Fantastic.
I'm sure nobody in the city will have any arguments against that.
Can I call mine a substitute savior badge?
Substitute savior badge?
Yes. Yes, I'm a savior. I'm just, substitute. I can come whenever I want. So,
We don't have those yet, Estrella, but you are an unofficial substitute savior. And he sort of like swipes up some mud off the ground and just writes it on your clothes.
I have it on the metal, but
Look, we're really happy for you, having your city back and all, but that city over there, not going so well over there, so could you help us out? Maybe give us some of your finest weapons? Definitely fix up our vehicle.
Your vehicle will be repaired as quickly as we can manage. You've all been outfitted with our very best solar wings and solar robes, and these do have a certain supply of chemicals inside of them as well, for you and your using pleasures. Unfortunately, our city was just devastated by an attack from Robo City 16. I know that retaliation makes sense to you, but for us, we've been isolated for our entire lives. Even accepting outsiders, seeing the visages of any new forms or outsiders outside of what we know and what we've grown up with is difficult. It's different for us. It will take us a little bit of time. We can promise you resources for you to use, and I can promise you Adelon, but I'll have to have a conversation with the knight to see what she may be willing to send your way.
We'll take whatever you can spare.
we've got to apologize to the owner of the Leopard's Lair, since we kind of messed him up, messed him over a little bit, and took his drug back.
Yes, by the way, that, as he looks towards, Drugbot. Who, me? This is mine. I was born this way. I've always been Drugbot. Faithful servant to the addicted. And, he goes...
Mortal addiction.
Yes, that was one of, actually, many of the messages that I received was from, the owner of the Leopard's Lair, and he would very much like his technology back.
You can't give him the leopard back, it's kind of gone.
But if you just take off after you're repaired, there's nothing I can do about that, is there?
telling
And
us to wine and dine.
Well, pay him a
you,
minute.
you all of you hear at the same moment, Father, what hopes you had for the city died with me, yet are born again with Edena. She is to be our legacy, perfected by our failures. And even the shepherd is like, oh, wow, that came out of nowhere. And he looks at you all before responding, and in a private, separate channel goes, we might be able to turn everything we have on them right here and now and take Edena ourselves. Well, the city, Robo City 16, is
Can I punch
consuming
him in the
itself.
face?
We wouldn't hear.
We
I
hear
do
this?
not trust the machine, but a human's power to believe is so much stronger than mine. I leave the decision in your hands, but consider your options carefully.
Oh, he's talking to us.
He is talking to you privately on
I
a separate
see.
channel. He goes, I don't trust the machine. We can fucking kill him now. Let me know, but really think about it. You're the ones who can think more critically about
I
this.
see.
Okay, and, okay. Son, if that's what I can call you, I suppose. I have an offer for you. Are you willing to let the Mortal Code escort her all the way to the throne?
It's a Z.
Without you. It's a Z?
Said he, her, Z.
Oh. I have a shortcut, one that you cannot take or follow. So there'll come a time when you'll have to stay behind and have faith in the code in your child. And he goes back onto the private channel and says, I'm referring to the portal underneath the spire in the Radstorm. This should connect you straight to the Source Throne. But the Wings of Liberty and the machine will not be able to follow you. But you can choose a frontal assault organized with all of your friends and comrades in the Resistance, or you can take the back door. And the machine responds now to everybody. I see you have built a functional Horizon gateway. It's almost like a question to it. The code does not scroll far, I see. Fine. You take the back door. I wanted to go through the front door anyway. I'll wade my way into the depths of the city and distract all of Kennedy's remnant fiends.
That sounded bad. Wait, what? So that's a good thing, right?
So effectively, it's if I can explain it in layman's terms, you have two obvious options. Whatever you want to do outside of that is up to you. One is go with the Wings of Liberty, pass through the storm, assault Robo City 16 with all of the forces you can accumulate. The other is take the mag rail, get to the base of the spire, take the system that gets you straight to the source code while the rest of the city is distracting the forces, Kennedy's forces.
That sounds pretty good.
The Wings of Liberty, at this suggestion... Okay, so to explain a little bit more, the Horizon Gate that the machine refers to, I would say Estrella and Netra give me a... What would it be? Intelligence plus... This is like the equivalent of a memory check.
Oh. I don't really have anything besides, like
Is it education
concentration or yeah. I don't have education either, so it's like, yeah, that's education, concentration, or local expert. Or there's no real memory thing here for me.
Okay, I would do... Okay, then intelligence plus concentration. Plus 1d10.
Like, trying to remember back why. Can I remember? Nah, I lost my concentration. Let's see. Plus,
Yeah, 16.
wow, 14. It's like,
Netra, I would say for a brief moment, you are pulled back as you try and consider what the two AIs are talking about. And a moment of horror passes through your emotional state, your psyche, and you just get a glimpse of running away from far beneath the capital citadel in the halls of the machine when you found Edena.
Okay.
And this is at the mention of a horizon gate. Because the machine effectively said, "Oh, I see you've been tampering with the horizon gate. The code doesn't, whatever I said that was clever at the time. The code doesn't scroll far." And so there is almost an air of like, okay, the shepherd isn't telling you something, and there's a lot of potential chance with this door.
So using the horizon gate, there's a lot. It's very ominous.
Yeah, we'll just say that as this is mentioned, your heart sinks, and you're like, what was that about? It's like anxiety hitting you, and you just have a bad feeling.
Woman's intuition.
But,
Oh, you're a man.
however,
No, I'm a woman in this one.
however, Netra picturing the very visceral image of attacking Robo City 16 head on also gives you an air of anxiety. So it's like you're picking and choosing at this point.
I think I'm just hungry.
Too prominent.
Yeah, so what the shepherd presented to the machine was like, we have a way in the back door, but you can't follow. Are you okay with that? And the machine goes, I'm okay with that. I'll just fucking go through the front door and do as much fucking damage as I possibly can.
And when you keep referring to the machine, you're talking about Wings of Liberty?
The monolith inside of the Wings of Liberty is a manifestation or a partition of the machine's code.
It's just a relay basically through the Wings of Liberty. It's like she's over here, but talking through the wings.
Yes. He is
Oh,
he is the infrastructure of the Wings of Liberty's code. So when you hacked into it, Netra, you entered into the same environment that you hacked into when you encountered the machine the first time. And also the Wings of Liberty the first time. But now you see that there is a foundational connection to the machine from both of them. It's just like an uncreative, I am a robot. These are my data towers that represent my functioning.
I mean, I'll share my anxieties with the group.
Private channel.
Yeah,
And-
private channel in front of the shepherd.
And at the end of the day, the shepherd does convey to the machine that it is up to the code to decide whether or not they go with you or whether or not they take the back door.
Flip a coin.
And then if there's any plan in between, by all means. But
Well, like I said, a lot of options here. I think I can speak for the group when I say we'd like to take you up on that rest. It was an option in there that wasn't mentioned, but I scribbled it in.
A rest and a drink.
I
As I
probably
hack
need some
up some
refresh
blood.
instead.
yeah, well, as I said, you have been. A medical team has come and serviced you, has cleaned up your wounds with very hyper scientific, to the nth degree tools and mechanisms from New Samarkand. Your health is all full, your armor is full, and you all are outfitted with solar robes, and the knight comes up to you and says, I saw how you handled Kennedy and his entourage. You have a more difficult path ahead of you than I do, than I have had protecting the Samarkand. Take my spear. And she's mainly looking and focused on you, Tink. What is your name? Your real name this time?
Tink.
Did you say Tank or Tink?
Tink. Like we've been calling him Tank, but his real name is Tink.
It's Battle Tank now.
Real name Tinkopolis.
Tinkoptatron?
Tinkathy. Sorry.
I go by Battle Tank now.
Battle Tank? Battle Tank. This is a good name. It suits you. Should you have been born in another life closer to us, you would be welcome among the Dain. And Adelon sort of, like, kicks rocks next to you and just, like, looks up towards the sky and disappointed. He had mentioned to you before that it's been his, like, life dream to be a Dain.
So I'm gonna look at him and be like, so,
Thank you. It's a great honor. Truly. So this is mine now?
Yes, it is yours.
Great. Adelon, take a knee.
All right. Sort of looks at the knight and then smiles at you as he lowers to the ground.
Can I hold his hand?
Are you knighting him into the
Down.
mortal code?
Absolutely.
No, nothing. Cute. No.
I'm gonna hold his hand as he gets down on his knees. He's probably got a
He's not a child.
weak body after that fight.
How dare you insult him in this moment?
You barely notice the weight of his hand as he expertly, nimbly kneels down to the ground.
Adelon, for your actions on the battlefield and what led up to these moments, for your heroism, I grant you the Knight's Spear.
Oh my god.
Rise, champion of New Samarkand and the Mortal Code.
He sort of like breathes really heavy, and you see his solar robes wrap and curl around the rest of his form and sort of solidify into a more robust form and form-fitting armor. He's almost like not translucent, a vibrant suit of well-fitting threads, like Luma threads that you were wearing, only with the solar bands. And he slams the spear down, and he looks almost at the knight for like permission, like, is this okay? And the knight goes, Eidolon, I witnessed your deeds as well, and Battle Tank here, he knows what he is doing. He is a trusted friend of New Samarkand, as you are now a permanent defender as an official Dain.
Gotta be able to recognize your strengths. And I suck at throwing.
And as she says that, somebody approaches from behind Adelon and actually presents to him the official sleek suit of a Dain. And it does the whole, open rib cage.
Iron Man 2 style. where
Exactly.
It's like, and he just gets in and it goes.
Exactly.
I'll be like, hello. Hi, how can we get those two? We
He
were
goes-
also a part of this.
I was prepared to give one to Battle Tank there, but we only have one extra. These are very rare and involved resources for New Samarkand. And this is why we have such few Dayin forces.
I didn't know it came with
Oh no, that's
armor.
totally fine. I understand.
You seem to be very capable on your own, little hacker girl. What is your real name?
Netra.
The city will remember your name forever. As she goes up to the monolith, and she takes out her own sort of knife and she carves your name. It's not like, but it's like very elegantly as the blade vibrates, highlights, and starts to just. And it's in a language that you are not used to or understand, but she says, "I assure you, your names are here."
Just says like loser.
Yeah, just like poop face, moron,
No, it's like a caricature of me underneath.
old ass weirdo,
It's ashtray. Hey.
ashtray. And the shepherd goes, "You have a night to rest, but Robo City 16 cannot wait for long. The more haste you make, the better all of your friends and family in the city will be."
Double time.
We'll be out of here by sunrise.
And the entirety of New Samarkand is yours. Until then.
We can pilot it? No.
That's what I'm talking about.
I get the steering wheel.
If you can, unfortunately, my say with Yawen is very limited. If you can convince that gearhead, then he might make you, or let you take the reins.
So, Y with the Yowl with a Y?
Yeah. Yowan. Gearhead Yawen.
Thank you, Cinema. Is it Cinema or Ginema? Cinema Oswald. That's right.
Oh, you're talking about the knight.
Yeah.
The shepherd was the last one who talked to you. Let me find her name. Is this dead? What happened? No, we're good. Cinnamon Oswar? I'm fairly
Like
certain I didn't
Cinema,
call her
cinema?
Cinnamon. You are a cinnamon.
It's either Cinema or Ginema or Cinema. I mean, pronounced in a weird way, but the way I wrote it down was just like the letters were associated.
Almost there, almost there. All right. Ganima
Oh,
Oswar.
so it's a G. Okay, I wrote it as an S.
Ganima Oswar.
Ganima. Well, thank you, Ganima. I will. Well, I'm not gonna say. I don't. This is straight as when I pray. I will. Hope for Yulia and Rustum's quick recovery. I'm sorry for sneaking past you and to get in here as well, for sneaking past the Dayin. We had good intentions, but
Clearly, our priorities were misaligned at the time, and you proved the most valuable asset to us. If you were not here, I don't know how we would have made it out.
thank you for that acknowledgement. I guess I'll turn to Adeline and be like, "You never answered me when I asked what happened to your partner, one Donna. You never. You just said she went on a mission and disappeared. Did she go on a mission to Robo City 16, or is that?"
She did, originally to find Edena. We'd been contacted by her parents first, before even the Resistance. And Wandane was the Shepherd's original seeker. And my lover, my partner, my best friend. And, man, I wish I really knew how to roll memory checks. Let's just say that what you found in the Temple of Fire seemed to
That
be
burned body? Like, oh, no.
a person was captured, and the Temple of Fire had the data the navigational data to get to New Samarkand. They're the only ones who had it.
You made him help the gang that killed Wandana, I guess.
No. You didn't help the gang that killed Wandane, but you, because the Temple of Fire. Fuck, what's their actual like religious name? They're separate from the Remnants of Dust. The Remnants of Dust were literally just like, we know the data is there. We need you to go to get it. They were sort of separated from that situation. So, the Remnants of Dust are not to blame. You're pretty confident of that. But the zealot religious group who hates robos and technology and everything, that were at that temple before it was burned down, were more than likely responsible for what may have been Wandane's fate.
I guess I would probably think about it and be like, I may have some bad news for you, Adelon. I just remembered, we went to this place called the Temple of Fire. I don't know if you know of it, but there was a body there that may or may not have been female, and
did you find anything on her? On them?
I think I found some food vials that I gave to Vinyl to use actually to heal us, but other than that, I can't really recall. Do you, Netra or
the data that you found that led you to the secret entrance of New Samarkand?
Okay, yeah. So I guess can I ask Netra to present that information? I guess like Netra, could you?
I'm gonna flick that over to the shepherd, along with like a really sad song. Like it's gonna be like the information, but it's gonna be scrolling dramatically slow.
To the shepherd, but not Adelon?
I mean, sorry, Adelon.
Make him at a poor time and for sad news, but here, I guess. Whoop, whoop.
Maybe it'll be with the song "In the Arms of an Angel."
The arms of an angel.
In a way, she succeeded in the end. She got you to us, whether she knew it or not.
I will admit you are one positive person, Adelon. I've done this whole time, even though it's not you, but doing. You almost got crushed in that hand. You almost got beat up by the captain. You kept a positive attitude throughout the whole thing, I can tell you.
He just makes this really ugly crying face and goes,
Oh, I didn't mean to.
That's what she liked most about me!
He's leaking. Somebody please.
Whoa.
There, attaboy.
Yeah, use Tink's beard. He's old.
I'm just gonna cross my arms and look at him and look at his new armor and be like,
the face sort of deconstructs and is just snot running down his mouth.
oh my god.
And yeah, he's just like,
Let's say a night on the town. This is what Wandane would want.
Maybe some
Oh,
rest
God.
for you, though. I don't know.
We'll meet up with you in like an hour.
Let's not meet up with you.
Yeah, let's go collect ourselves, yeah, shall we? Meet at,
If we don't see you in an hour, meet us here tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna go test out this suit. And then he just, the
Alright.
face reconstructs, his solar wings spawn, and he jumps up, gets into his legs forward, 4 bands, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, for his pretty much his vehicle, and he just sails off into the sky.
Wow.
Isn't the Arms of an Angel playing as he flies away?
I'm just gonna watch him for a while.
Make sure he doesn't do anything
It's like
dangerous.
dipping down and up, almost hits a building. Like stops, gets out, leans on the side of New Samarkand.
Oh my
you just
God.
see,
May have done him an
you hear this echoing like
Jesus.
as he
Ooh.
streams off.
Well, he's gone up in my book for sure.
Wow. The sad, super sad display, and you're good, yeah.
One single tear falls from my cheek as I think like, now he's got the armor.
and that spear.
Life's looking up for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, we're done here, right?
I could use a drink after that display. We said we hit the leopard's lair.
I
Not without him.
think you might have ruined my seeker.
What?
I hope you'll be good in the morning. Some secrets are better left unknown.
Closure is never a bad thing.
Drugs, though.
Insightful.
Those help. Got any?
But what?
I have the benefit of being able to, and as he sort of raises his hand and says, affect myself as I please, you see his pupils just dilate, like up and down, like back and forth, like he starts to get sweaty, like starts to breathe really heavily, then he calms down, sweat literally gets sucked back into his skin.
Whoa, way to
And
show off.
he goes, the entire range of human experience is at my
At your feet. Yeah.
fuck tips. What is this? Why is this here? Sorry. And says, they may be setting back up, but the leopard's lair is always a good time. Though I feel like you are carrying the good time with you. They may want that back.
Hide
Drug
it.
bots
You're
stay
carrying the
outside.
drug bot, yeah.
Hide it before we go there.
Drug bot stays outside leopard's lair.
Put it in your room. Take a hit before you leave your room, and leave it in the room.
Got plenty of uppers in the drug bot for you to get down on.
Yo, let's stop talking about it and be about it. Come on, let's just go there.
Yeah, I'll take 2 uppers.
Take a hit.
Okay, hold
Take a
on.
hit of
Let me
red eye.
find
I
the
don't even
leopard's
know
lair in my
what that would
notes.
be.
Really quickly.
How many drinks can we have on this?
Drink like a fish
Before,
on this now.
you know, risk of liver damage. 3?
Risk of okay, you should have not.
Robotic liver.
I would say people who were born in Robo City 16 don't even know the liver exists.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a myth, is what is the popular opinion. Okay, hold on. I can. Oh no, that's not it. It's on content. Leopard. So many notes for New Samarkand. Jeepers Christ. Hold on. Sorry. Was it you guys make your you remember where it is? Well, actually, go ahead and whoever's leading the charge make an investigation plus is I think the internet's back. I can click things again.
Local expert?
Yeah, local yeah, intelligence plus local expert. Good thinking.
Who's in front, actually?
Who's leading the way?
I
Who has
have
the most local expert?
decent.
Ours is the same.
Well, I got all my luck.
Do it. I've used almost all of mine.
You've already used yours without my knowing?
Yeah. I used it to talk to Edena. To connect
Use the
to her
drugs to guide
network.
you.
It's a good thing you did that because she that roll was extremely high to
That's
be able
what I
to.
figured. I was almost gonna make it 30, but I saved 2 luck points just in case.
18.
It takes you a little bit, but not too long. It takes you about an hour to hour and about 10-20 minutes to get there. And on your way there, how are you guys traveling?
You had to wrangle us up because we took 2 uppers and everything. And like, oh, come on, no, stop touching that. Come on, we're this way. No.
I'm gonna travel via the what are they called?
Solar bands?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys
Just gonna
are
relax.
swarmed by
people of New Samarkand of all shapes, sizes, and ages trying to find out more about the outside world and you guys. They are hyper curious. Some people don't even know why they were attacked by Robo City 16. They don't even know who Kennedy is. They just know that we saw you on the Wording Willow, and oh my god, you guys are just so courageous. We've never seen anything like that before in our lives. And they're like flying next to you, like 40 feet in the air, with the sort of traffic that has reestablished itself. And just, you guys are being pestered and bothered. You can do like a roll to avoid all of this, or you can talk to them.
So here's a PDF of the story, and then flick it to them. Like,
Can I like
GIF of
hold
mine,
people's hands and be like, I know, we're heroes. And then I'm gonna like hold out my hands. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
But maybe they'll give me something.
Do a
Wow.
I'm not gonna ask for something, but I'm gonna be like, we're heroes.
do a cool plus persuasion. You guys are a 10 reputation now across New Samarkand and Robo City 16. So it's impossible for them not to know you.
Oh my god, I rolled a 1. That's very appropriate.
We'll say that as you're flying, like your visor sort of shakes and then flips up as you ask them this
No.
question, and they just go, "Oh yeah, I have," and they start to like they dip off out and disappear behind a building as you just as they jettison out their lunch from the sight of
Appropriate.
your battle-worn, eye-crusted eyes.
Oh god. That makes sense.
Give me a, if you're doing, just give me a tech plus basic tech.
Tech plus basic tech.
Uh,
I don't have basic tech. I have cyber tech and auto tech.
that's fine. Do cyber tech. This is like how quickly you can
13.
put the story in a document and just send over their way as a comprehensive PDF, so you don't have to talk to them.
Yeah, 13.
So it's like
it's like a children's story. Woo, here you go.
as like kids start to giggle and dip off, like and then adults are like, wow, this really is incoherent. I was really
See a
expecting
straight
something
drive.
more. Oh, okay, bye.
See Netra hack.
This is where you encounter a lot of your troubles. It's just like, okay, we're popular now. This is weird. Even Tink would probably be like, people are coming up to me to talk to me and like ask me about where I come from and like are just interested in me as a person. This is crazy. The people of New Samarkand are, whereas they were pretty standoffish before, are like incredibly accommodating right now. But you managed to make it to the Leopard's Lair. And it is currently being cleaned up. The marketplace, the plaza that you guys had thoroughly destroyed, it's this communal effort to rebuild the kiosks, gather all of the thrown out fruits and vegetables and other items that are being sold at all of the different stalls. It's just a huge communal effort to help. Even the leopards are carrying boxes on their backs, and Azem, which is what his name was, who owned the establishment, is currently just giving people free drinks. He has no drugs. And you even hear him, you come up into a conversation, and he goes, look, I'm sorry. They were taken in the raid. And you notice him sort of stifle telling the truth. And he goes, those bastards from Robo City 16 took everything from me. I'm afraid. I have a little bit of drink left for you, but unfortunately we must work with what we have. That magnificent drug dispenser is gone. Oh, it's gone. Where will I spend my nights now? What will I do in the vision's bounty? Just look at the pleasing sights, not on drugs? This is
Throw the bag
bullshit.
of red eye on the counter.
My friend, you have brought back all of my livelihood, I see. You have done a wonderful job here, done me a great service. As he looks at the people he was just talking to, and he sort of leans in and winks at you. My secret is my bug, my friend.
That red eye is for you, so don't just... Yeah, it came from you anyway, so...
Is Vitalith very present? Or sorry,
I just
drug
had
bot?
I just had the bag of red eye that I dumped those red eye into, so I just gave it to him. I think Vitalith is still being hidden.
I know that, but he
I thought you put
aggressively
the-
goes to the bag, opens it up, and says, and sort of looks. Is this all that's left?
We confiscated it off of a Robo Police.
You realize I was here when you knocked me out. Right?
Oh,
It
crap,
is
he
a
was
good
here.
story to tell, but no one is around to convince anymore. They went
Look, we
away.
are sorry about that, but it needed to happen. You just weren't gonna let us do what needed to be done.
Yes,
Your city's saved now, right?
I understand dire consequences call for dire action, yes, and I was cowering as a leopard. Just so long as you do not tell anyone about this, I will not tell anyone about that. And he sort of points at Drugbot. So long as it returns to its rightful owner, yes?
Yes, yes.
Fine. But
I'm actually gonna use it.
but
There is something
we'll give
else.
it back. But we'd like some drugs.
Should we end it soon? Romy has to go to the restroom.
Okay, yes,
And there's
sure.
like
Okay,
5
so
minutes left.
yes. Okay. We will I'm sorry. We will end it at the possibility of drug adventures. As is always the best place to end off and start.
Yes.
So, thank you everybody for joining tonight for what was a very exposition-heavy game. But a lot of important stuff was covered, I think. Maybe, who knows? Let us know what you thought. If there's any feedback about this session, about the story, anything you want to send me to inspire the next game, by all means. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and attention on this very important and valuable Thursday night of yours. Until fate next brings us together, and never stop playing role-playing games.
Unless you have to go to the
Nope.
bathroom.